India, the largest democracy of the world, is directed on the path of development and making a mark with its global presence today. What will be the next big leap for India to head forward? Will it spearhead the nation's trajectory and steer its goal of becoming a superpower? To answer these crucial questions, Times Now came back with the third edition of Times Now Summit, a landmark forum that brings together leading policymakers, geopolitical experts, thought leaders, opposition voices, and global icons. This year, the two-day summit held in New Delhi had the theme India, a Vibrant Democracy, Global Bright Spot. In this episode, we bring you excerpts from the event that brought out the vision for the brighter future of our country.
All of us, I believe, can plead guilty to saying we simply don't have the time to eat right. We are sitting on our computers, we are not exercising as much as we should, and I definitely plead guilty for having too much of coffee. So how do we ensure that our lifestyle does not impact on our healthy health? And that's the problem that all of us have been battling. How do we ensure that all of it doesn't go down the drain, our lifestyles, because of the way that we have been acting over the years? Perhaps that's where we can expect nutrition to step in and help our health at least, which is why this panel, I believe, is very important. And for that, let me go across first to Mr. Uday Prakash. Now, just as our body changes with age, even our nutritional levels, our requirements have to change. But often we've seen that we don't put that into our dietary consideration. How important are supplements in a case like that?
Yeah, let me probably answer the first one. What you said is, it's very difficult for us in our high-paced life, right? And let me ask you, how many times you skip your breakfast, or when you are rushing to the work, or you grab something that is available, right? See, and I was having a conversation with Dr. Rupali. It's important that the wholesome diet do provide some of the nutrients, but in our high-paced life, it often becomes difficult for us to catch up with the way we eat. Sometimes it could be due to the paucity of the time. Sometimes it could be the availability of a high-quality, fresh food itself, and sometimes it's the knowledge behind the food. So these are the factors which affect the way we eat, right? And that's where we believe supplement can play a big role. In fact, studies have suggested that if you can have a right supplement, it helps you in your better immune response.
And perhaps at the top of the chain when it comes to health is going to be none other than the sportsperson. So, Anju Bobby George, I must ask you this. We all know that sportspersons must stay healthy. But how often and how much of a thought are they putting into their nutrition? Because it's not just about being fit now. They need to ensure that the fitness levels continue. Where does nutrition and what kind of a role does nutrition play in that?
As an athlete, we are working with our body, and it's not a machine. The medium is our body. So we need to keep our body at the highest level always. And we are very careful about that. And the requirement what we need as an athlete, and now it's different. So we need to constantly check our blood, what we need exactly, and we need to replace that. It's not like blindly we can supply everything into our body. And the thing what we are getting from our natural food nowadays, because of the fertilizers what we are using, it's not the same amount. So we need to supply extra, but very carefully. As an athlete, I'm really always very careful about what I'm eating, and I'm always educating others also. Be careful, because at this stage everything goes well, but later stages, actually we need to from the beginning itself, we need to supply correctly, and that is actually going to help us in the later stages.
So that's what's most important, to ensure that the fitness level are sustained. Just don't be fit today, you ensure that you are preparing the stage to be fit tomorrow as well. So which is why Rupali Datta, now there's a lot of talk which has been coming in of eating local.
Sorry?
Of eating local.
Okay.
It's going back to the roots, our homegrown millets, the very humble bathua saag. We are now being told these are the things that our ancestors have always said are good for our health. And instead of going for the kale and the quinoas, which a lot of people are going towards, how important is this for us to go back to what our heritage, our cultures have been bringing in?
So, when the guidelines that we get are based on our population. So there's a cross section of population which is taken. So our requirements, and similarly when we get our food tables, they are based on local produce. And there is a lot of difference between our food tables and the US food tables, all right? Yes, it is very fashionable to have kale and quinoa, and I have nothing against it because both of them are very healthy, they're good. But if you are not comfortable with the taste, like I personally just dislike broccoli, there are a lot of good Indian local, produce which is equally good. Something as simple as kuttu ka atta, which we eat only in Navratra, right? Barley is something which has been. Ragi is so popular down south. So our traditional food is perfectly all right in supplying what we need. Of course, it has, there has to be a method to the madness. Then again, seasonal. Having a watermelon in winters doesn't make sense because nutritionally it is not going to give you anything. Having an apple in summers does not make sense similarly. So that's why it's important to eat local, because your local ready wala will only get what is grown, say, maximum 10 kilometers away. There's also the loss of nutrients as you keep them longer. So I always tell people, get out of the supermarkets, go to your local ready wala. He will give you the best food.
So go back.
I just want to add to what she said. In fact, we should be very proud of the science that is there in our ancient texts, right? And the traditional usage of herbs. So we at Herbalife, we are getting bacopa, which is used for your brain health, which helps in your cognitive function, which helps in your memory. We are taking this from India into our US formulations, okay, which is a product which is for the global audience. So actually local is going global now.
And that's very important, because my follow-up question to what we had Rupali Datta say to you, Mr. Uday Prakash, she specifically said that there are different geographical locations and the requirements are different. For example, those in India vis-a-vis those who may be in US. So what are the kind of products which are specifically designed for Indians? And that's very important, because it's not just anymore about general nutrition, but targeted nutrition is very important as well.
Yeah, so when the products are formulated, there are two ways of looking. One, we benefit from the global research, and we have a center of excellence in Bangalore where there are Indian scientists who work tirelessly to formulate the product. And these products are suited for Indian audience, right? And we get best of the ingredients from across the world, right? Wherever it is available to formulate this product. For example, I was having a chat with Anju, and one of the challenges that athletes have is the palatability of the food, right? Sometimes when you talk about nutrition, you don't really like the taste of that particular food. And to make it palatable for our audience, there is a lot of research that goes behind that. For example, recently we launched Kashmiri Kawa. Now, Kashmiri Kawa with an energy drink mix is an amazing combination. People are just loving it. We are using real saffron in the entire formulation to make it customized for Indian audience. So that is what makes us different than any other nutrition company, wherein we benefit from the global research as well as amalgamate it with our ancient knowledge.
And then in that case, let me take that across to Anju Bobby George. What happens to sports persons who are stepping out, let's say for tours? How do they ensure their nutrition? How disciplined are they when they are out, many a times out of India as well, and you know very well when you've been competing?
Yeah, mostly, but now our athletes are well focused and they know what to eat and what to do, because their performance actually, that's the main focus. So wherever we go, we ensure what we are getting, what we are eating. And now, actually, well before going there, our supporting staff will be there, and they will ensure what we are going to eat there. And sometimes we are sending our cooks also if we are going for a major competition. But actually there was time, I think before me, athletes actually, they used to complain what they are going to get there, or after the competition for their poor performance, they used to complain like, I was not getting any rice there, or dal there, or chapati there. But now India changed a lot, and we can actually And I think because not only because India changed a lot, the information what we are getting from everywhere, so we know exactly how it is going to happen and we can mentally prepare for that.
But also the important role that a support staff plays to ensure, and that perhaps has improved since the days that you've been playing as well. Rupali Datta, unfortunately in the news, there have been very unfortunate, untimely deaths which have been reported. Raju Srivastava, Siddharth Shukla. The rate of heart attack prematurely killing people has been on the high, it seems. Perhaps it's because of the lifestyles that we are leading. What kind of a role can nutrition, what kind of a role can wellness play in it to try and rectify some of this?
So, see, it's very important to understand health is not something you get overnight. It literally starts at conception, or rather we would say the health of the mother. You know, it's that chicken came before the egg or the egg came before the chicken. So good nutrition has to start there. Good nutrition has to start at homes. It's a learning process. It's a conditioning process. So the first 3 years, 4 years, first, are very, very critical because that's a very, the growth is so high at that time. Then through your adolescence, you're creating your bones, you're creating your organs, they are developing. So if your base is not developed properly, you can never build on it. Secondly, as a family, we should be aware of what are our genetics. So if, you're prone to, say, diabetes or heart diseases or early heart diseases, then it should be a lifestyle adaptation. Plus, after a certain age, it should also include timely checkups. People in India we don't have a health-seeking behavior. We only go to hospitals when we are ill, right? Prevention is always better than cure. So understanding your needs, taking care of your health, not going berserk, in the Sports Authority, I was pleasantly surprised. They're doing a wonderful job. But there is a method to the madness. There is a scientific basis. So products that are being produced are far superior to what they were. We are using them with patients who are on life support, So this cannot be done just for the heck of it. But what you use for a patient on life support cannot be used for another person. So you have to get the proper guidance, you have to self-learn, and only then can you achieve your health goals.
In fact, of late it seems that awareness about nutrition, wellness has been going up. In that case, Mr. Uday Prakash, another word which has been added to our vocabulary nowadays has been that of plant-based supplements, plant-based nutrients. We can explain what that means and how consumers have been adapting to it.
So, this whole idea that plant-based nutrition is insufficient to meet your macronutrient requirement, for that matter protein, complex carbohydrate, dietary fiber, or essential vitamins and minerals, is an outdated myth. So now there is a growing realization among the people that the plant-based nutrition can meet your nutrition needs. Okay, they have high antioxidant levels, high phytochemicals, but at the same time there are some plants which has anti-nutritional factors as well, such as phytates. Now, and this is where we believe a right coach plays a critical role in giving a balanced diet and making sure there is a proper absorption of nutrient that happens, and they can get benefit out of it. So that's what we see. And in terms of consumer behavior, what we have realized, especially over the last 2-3 years, is people are becoming increasingly conscious about their health. They are getting benefit. They understand the benefit of investing into their health. And now the plant-based diet is sustainable. There is a growing realization that, we owe it to generations to come regarding sustainability, right? Just before this session, we were talking about sustainability in energy. And we have to start thinking about sustainability in the diet. And the plant-based diet is the best about sustainability in the diet. It has all the essential nutrients. And now with science and technology, it has become palatable as well. So that is what is driving people to adapt towards this change. Yeah.
So that's very interesting. In fact, Anju, if I can come to you now, the sports nutrition segment already it's worth about 1,300 crore rupees, and it has been increasing by 25% annually at that. But you must explain to us how you feel times have changed in the life of a sports person, how nutrition levels, wellness awareness has changed since the time perhaps you were competing and what it is now.
I think the industry is growing not because of the sports, only the sports people are using that. Because of the pandemic, now the awareness about sports, health and everything is increased a lot. That's why the industry is growing very high. And the times when I was an athlete, gathering any information or going to a doctor, going to a physio or a dietitian, that was not in our mind. Actually, we used to blindly go and like just train, do hard work, perform there. That was our mantra. But now kids are really enjoying all these kind of things, and they have personal doctors, personal physios, personal dietitians, and they know exactly what they have to do. So, but I think when I was an athlete, my coach struggled a lot to get some kind of information. And if we say sports medicine, it was drugs. That is what's a common belief in our. Even if I say in an interview, see, I need some sports medicine, then, oh, Anju is taking drugs. So that was the common concept. But now it's changed a lot. And we know exactly what our body requires and exactly what need to supply. And each athlete, I can say that they are half doctors. They know the knowledge of a doctor about what they need to eat and the injury, how to manage that, and the training also. And the coach also supporting a lot, and his knowledge is also equally good. So it changed a lot nowadays.
It changed a lot, hopefully for the better, of course. Now, Rupali, you have been very vocal about how there has been increasing threat of diabetes in India, especially because India ranks second in the diabetes epidemic. But you've also said that we can possibly help rectify it to a large extent with our diet. How do we do that?
So actually diabetes is one metabolic disorder which has medicine, diet and a good lifestyle. You cannot get it under control under any other circumstances. Pre-diabetes is reversible. Once you're a diabetic, it is never reversible. What does happen is you can keep it under very tight control, which is where it should be, right? Diet is the only way. So it's what you eat, it's the combinations you eat in, it is the timing that you eat, it's your physical activity. So it has to be a disciplined lifestyle, number one. Number two, there are certain foods which are very, very supportive to controlling blood sugars, and there's very good evidence with them. You know, like cinnamon. Very recently, Dr. Anup Mishra has done this huge study, where 3 months of cinnamon intake at different levels has shown a very, very good reversal. So we call these functional foods. So these functional foods, Karela, excellent paper and excellent, neem, kadi patta. So every region has this food which is, but they are supportive to your normal therapies. So eating at the right time, eating in the right combination, exercising, there is no other way. There are no shortcuts. And that is what people must understand. And yet, having worked in corporate wellness, that is also a reality. So I think now the time has come, not just people are getting health conscious, but they must push back to the management also. There has to be a cut-off time. You cannot be working 18 hours. I have gone to corporates and seen young people, late 20s, early 30s, blood tests all over the place, shockingly high. I mean, they're ticking time bombs. So this has to stop. Secondly, we call something which we call as acts of daily living. Why should young people, they may be wanting to go to IIT and IIMs and hence they are studying a lot, but if they don't know how to cook their food, if they don't know how to take care of themselves, I don't think, that's a part, to my mind, that's a part of being successful. So that is again something we as a community, as parents, need to learn that. So when you see youngsters living alone, and even if you have a cook, she or he will not do it the right way unless you don't know. You know, my dad used to always say, before you get a work done from somebody, do it yourself. That's how you'll know where the shoe
I think
pinches.
that's a very important point that you made. Also the fact that when it's success, your success also must reflect in your health, not just in your profession.
Absolutely.
So, Uday Prakash, now it's interesting because Herbalife expects India to become its biggest market, even superseding the United States. It also has the biggest distribution chains that we have. How have you managed to ensure that you have the training at the right level to ensure that you are selling directly to all your customers as you are currently?
So, we firmly believe that upskilling our associate is paramount to us, right? We do a lot of investment into their training and education. We engage them with experienced Nutritionists. We have a lot of physical events where we train them. And I can tell you proudly at this forum, very shortly in India, we are launching award-winning learning app for our associates, which has a great learning content, and at the same time, it is fun, simple, and enjoyable. So sometimes these technical subjects become very difficult for them.
Absolutely.
And you make it a simple bites for them to understand, getting them equipped with the right knowledge, because often our associates, through their transformative power of inspiring results, that they have a big impact on the community in terms of living their life in a healthy manner. So it's all about healthy and active lifestyle. But more than our associates and our customer, we have a larger commitment to Healthy India. In fact, we partnered with FSSAI, the Food Safety Standard Authority of India, in reaching out to more than 8 crore people in India, in making them understand about the importance of eating right. We have worked with many of the state government, and we have reached as far as Kargil to educate people in this regard with various startups of society. Yeah?
Public-private partnership is going to be critical for a healthy India.
Absolutely, and we believe that Swasth Bharat will lead to a Unnat Bharat.
Absolutely, amen to that. Anju, you must tell us one final thing. It's important, and this is something that Rupali was also saying, it's important for us not just to eat right, but also eat at the right time. How important is that? Because many seem to be missing out on that. You ask anyone, they say time hi nahi milta.
But we are very strict about our diet, and we are very strict about what we are eating. So we won't skip any meal in any chance. But we are strict, like 3 times a day is enough for us. And the quantities also, we are very careful. But sometimes we are human beings. It happens.
But which is why we need a very robust nutritional as well as a wellness ecosystem to be built.
You know, my husband was my coach, so he was there in the ground and at home also. So for me, skipping something is beyond my imagination. He's still monitoring me, so it's a big headache for me actually.
Well, for that ecosystem, we'll applaud your husband to be part of that, to keep everyone healthy and of course India shining. Thank you so much. We're running out of time, but it was lovely discussing, hopefully upwards and onwards when it comes to global health India as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.